Tom Wright's try on Saturday night at the MCG off the back of Sua'ali'i. So are you surprised to see Joseph Akuso stay at 13 rather than move one out?
I thought perhaps with the injury they could have maybe shifted a couple of players out, maybe Tom to the wing and then Joey back to fullback there. But they've got the combination going. They've got something obviously brewing at the moment. This is a lovely piece of play. The left foot step there just to go past Bundyaki, knowing that that defence on the inside is stressed. Quick early ball and then gas to the line. So that was the first time I really saw that ball movement happen for the Wallabies in that regard there. Good understanding from Tom Liner as well. Just shift the ball, get it wide. Someone's calling for it. It's the old adage of, give it to me. There's obviously space out there.
So on to the big men, and I want to lean into you both around this because you were both so good at it. What did you make of the Wallabies' response after that first test, the way Skelton and Bobby V went hard at them?
I thought it was exactly what was needed. And the first test, there just wasn't enough punch in the carry. Those guys did it incredibly well, and I'm sure with Tupu coming in, that's going to add to it. Also, Nick White, I mean, he's very familiar to all those players that played in the Premiership when he was down at the Exeter Chiefs. He's gonna bring niggle. Yeah. There's no doubt about that, and he's going to be working those Australian forwards hard and making sure that they do punch in wet conditions. It's going to be a lot tighter. There's probably not going to be as much movement on the ball.
Tell me this, so if you go down by 2, how do you get your team up if you're captain when it's never dead rubber, no one's saying that, but how do you get them up when the series is gone?
Well, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose a test match ever, and you certainly don't want to lose 3-0 at home. So I think if I was the Lions, I'd be nervous about the backlash. They've lost a game in the last minute. We know what happened. They're going to feel, you should feel angry, upset, and they're good emotions to go into a game with. They're far better emotions than being relaxed and in a nice space. So you want to go out and seek and destroy. So they've got to get that in their head. Now, it's easy for me to say it. They've got to get there, and the Lions do too. It's interesting that Marrow immediately talked about trying to win the third test after he just won the series. So they've said all the good things about that, and let's see how they handle it, because the weather could be a big factor, obviously.
I think in the centres, you go back to the centres, you look at Berkey, you mentioned, I think they're probably too far in now. This is their 7th or 8th test match together, Leniki Tau and Joseph Sua'ali'i, and then their combination's going to build over time. But, John, I want to ask you about Itoje. What have you seen in his leadership, what he's done throughout this tour? Because I've been at training a lot and had a chat to Andy Farrell. Looked like a really tight group, the Lions tour.
Yeah, they seem to be connected and all together, and he's his own man, right? He's going to do it his way. He said that from the start. He's a different guy as they all are to everyone else, and the real test is in the heat at the moment. Yeah. The real test is when you're 18 points down and what do you do? And he got them he got them back in. That's the biggest comeback in Lions Test history, and one of the biggest comebacks in. I've never come back from 18 points in a Test match. I don't think so. But he'll be the first to say, and any captain will, you need the players to do it right. You can say whatever you like. If the players can't react and do the right thing under pressure, it's not going to happen. And Finn and Jamison Gibson Park running the game, they all kept their composure and got themselves back.
Berkey, before we let you, Richard and Jono go, run me through how this game plays out on Saturday night.
I think, as Jono said, Australia has to bring the passion, the anger, and the spite, if that's the word, from what happened last week, and put it in a good way to be able to get on top of them. It's interesting because there's a bit of chat about the Rugby Championship and moving forward. There's no moving forward. It's the next 24 hours. They must win this game and win it well at home and continue where they left off. The biggest one is, I suppose, the game plan, the lack of game plan when they were ahead. They just sort of... They had a few errors in understanding when to run, when not to run, when to kick, when not to kick. And that's crucial in a game because you only get a certain amount of chances. And when you're up against a team that's chock full of internationals, if you make a poor error of judgment, then you really get the pay the price, so to speak. So tonight is all over it. Tomorrow is all over it.
Yep, and a little word from the Northern Hemisphere as well before you guys bounce out. So who will be the difference makers for your men in red on Saturday?
If it's as is, it's going to be the halfbacks. How they control the game, where they control the field position. Australia had a chance to shut that game out with probably 3 minutes to go by kicking the ball to touch and making the Lions have to work for a try. They didn't. The counter-attack comes back on, and those are the key moments. Finn Russell, he wants to play with the ball, but we all know that he has a great attacking, kicking game as well. So he won't be shy about looking for the 50-22s.
And one final word before we let you return to Sydney. We'll see you Saturday night before we let you go from the panel.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Finn Russell, Rich has said it, he wants to play. And I think you just get a sense they feel a bit unfulfilled, the Lions, that they can actually do more. Whether the weather and the conditions will be right for it. But I think they'll try and, look who's in that back line. Will the wingers change? We don't know at this point. But I think they'll want to play a little bit as well. So I think anything could happen Saturday. Just be prepared for anything. It could all go off.
It's going to be a beauty. Thank you for your time on Rugby Heaven on the Road. You've been awesome and much love. So it's been